What if I will tell you that you're not procrastinating because you're lazy, but just because you're confused? What do you think about this? How many times did you block or did you get stuck because you thought like you didn't want to do something because you were lazy, but instead it was just because you didn't know where to start? Maybe was this the problem? And in this video, I will explain you why this happens and why we won't procrastinate because we are lazy, but we procrastinate because we basically are unclear on the next steps to do. So the clarity is the most important thing in this case, and I'll guide you in 3 steps in order to recognize what was the problem and how to unlock it, how to not get unstuck and proceed towards your next goal, and in a way that you can go and do this forever. So first of all, let's understand why the confusion get ourselves stuck. Well, first of all, our brain hates confusion. What does it mean? So basically, when we have no clarity about something, when our brain is confused about the next step, basically it gets stuck for a simple reason that we go on freeze mode because we don't know what to do. And the humans are animals first of all, and humans acts for two reasons. So first of all, in order to gain something, some pleasure, let's say, and the second, in order to avoid some pains. And usually, this second one is much stronger. When we are confused, it means that we don't know what the next step will do, like what are the consequences of the next step. So what happens that in order to avoid bad consequences that maybe there are not, but we don't know that, so in order to avoid mistakes and future pains, we prefer to not act, and that's why we go on freeze mode. This is the problem. And at the same times, when we have all to gain, so different options, we act in the same way. This is the action paralysis, and it's very clear. Why does this happen? We have just to gain in a certain way, yeah? Yes, but what if you pick the wrong choice, wrong in a certain way, like the less profitable choice? You start to feel bad because you didn't pick it up the best one. So you feel like you did something wrong, and it's the same. And in this social media era, where everything looks like amazing. Oh, you can earn money through trading. Hey, you can earn money through communities. Hey, you can earn money through investment. Whatever. Even with the diet, you can lose weight with the vegan diet. No, you can lose weight with the carnivore diet. No, you can lose weight with the Mediterranean diet. And let me tell you one thing. First of all, everything can work in a certain way. I mean, not everything, but so many stuff. Second, this is the problem. We have so much choice, so much that we get stuck and we prefer to not do anything. And of course, we get stuck and we have no results then because we're not acting in any way. So, this is the problem. Even because confusion will lead you to not feel guilty. What does it mean? You feel guilty because you didn't have like those results, but you don't feel guilty of non-acting. Let me reframe this. So basically, imagine that you need to do something, but you're not doing it because you're lazy. At that point, you feel bad because you've been lazy and you're not acting. But what if you need to do something, but you don't know what you need to do? So for this reason, you don't do the thing. Yeah, maybe you feel guilty because you're not proceeding, but not so bad because basically you don't know what to do, right? So because you don't know what to do, you say, okay, that's okay. When I will have more clarity, I will do that. But basically, it's the same thing. So the confusion is the perfect excuse for us in order to delay the next action that we need to do, and in order to not feel guilty for this kind of stuff. And why is so important? Because we need to transform the confusion in clarity, first of all. So we need to understand what is the next step. Like I said in the yesterday's video, basically in the vlog, we need to understand, first of all, we need to remove all the noise. So we have so many things in mind, and our brain is very bad on holding things. Our brain is not done in order to hold, it's done in order to create, let's say. I don't remember who said it, who said that. By the way, we have so much noise around that we can't get through. So we have like literally some mental focus. So we need first of all to remove all the noise. Choose your important things. Choose your important goals. One for work, one for life. So don't do so many things. Everyone wants to do everything, but we can't. Not at the same time. So let's try to focus on less things, but in a more accurate way, in a more dedicated way. So reduce the noise. Other project, perfect. Put that aside for the future. And then define what's the next step. One more thing. In order to not feel guilty of putting aside the things, write it down. It doesn't matter if it's on a piece of paper or in the phone, doesn't matter. Write it down for two reasons. First of all, it looks like you have so much in your mind, so much. But the reality is that it's not that much. It's that we just don't have the random access memory, the RAM, big enough in order to hold all this information. So this is the problem. It looks like a lot, but when you start to write it down, you will realize that it's not that much, to be honest. Try it. Let me know if it's like this. Second, because for the same principle that we don't want the FOMO, the fear of missing out, we don't want to lose something that is potentially helpful for us. Could be an information, could be an action, a project, something to buy, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what is it, we don't want to lose it. And when you write it down, even if you will never look that piece of paper again in your life, at least your mind is in peace because it says, okay, it's written there. So even if I put aside, I can leave out and give my brain some peace. At least I have written somewhere, so I know that is there. That's so important. So first of all, we said remove the noise. Second, write it down the other things. Third, define the next steps. Next steps that needs to be like micro, like small, extra small. So small that needs to look like a joke. Like go to the gym to lose weight, 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes on the treadmill, for example. Because needs to be so ridiculous, doesn't matter. Needs to be so ridiculously easy that basically you need to be like willing to do more. Like 5 minutes, I don't want to get dressed, prepared, and everything, go to the gym just to do 5 minutes. But it needs to be so easy that you want to progress. Because sometimes, quite often actually, we tend to put like our goals, like our steps so high that we feel kind of afraid on doing it. And we don't do that. When it's too easy, I mean, not too easy that you need to be bored, but just one step above. Not bored, but so easy that you want to progress very easy. Imagine when you play video games. When you play video games, they put like the first level so easy that you want to do it, like to show them that you're more than capable. This is one of the gamification tricks. By the way, so make it so easy that you will do that. Then take a timer. Doesn't matter if it's the watch, the phone, a simple timer, doesn't matter. Take a timer because for the Parkinson law, I'm not sure if it's the Pareto principle. No, the Pareto principle is 80-20. So the Parkinson law, basically we use all the time that we allow in order to do something. So if we need to do one task and we say we have 8 hours, we will spend 8 hours. If we say that we have just 4 hours, we will do that in 4 hours. And if we say we have just 1 hour, we will do that in 1 hour. Doesn't matter. If you've been a student or a worker, you know that. you will take all the time available. And this is the Parkinson law. It's a psychological trick, let's say. So set a time and check it, because you will spend that amount of time. So is a way in order to improve your time management as well. Then what else? I would say last thing, celebrate the small progression, because we need to track what we do, but what we want is even to celebrate the good things, even if it's small. We tend to put ourselves down, like we tend to talk badly about ourselves. And I don't know why we grow up in this way, but probably is like our inheritance, let's say. Most people tend to talk bad about themselves, and I don't know, they think that this way, I mean, this was my thought, in this way they can motivate themselves to do more, but instead this creates just a negative loop, like you can't do that, you are too lazy, you have to do this, to the point that unconsciously you start to believe it, and you start to become that negative version. Try to do the opposite, even the small things, try to celebrate them in order to start a positive loop and encourage you to do more, more, and more. And this is like a big, massive change, trust me, because you will be willing to do more talking positively. So that's so important. And then next time that you think that you want to delay something, that you want to procrastinate something, ask yourself, first of all, am I clear on what I need to do? So, first of all, clarity. Don't give like default to the motivation. Oh, I have no motivation today. I have no. No, it's not true. Maybe you just simply don't have any clarity on the next step. So try to do this thing. Try to think if is everything clear first of all, and well, if this video made you see like the procrastination in another way, do one thing. So write it down, the next thing that you need to do, like literally. Doesn't matter if it's evening whatsoever, but within the evening, before to go to bed, write it down, the next thing that you need to do in order to work remotely and have some clarity. And then within the day after, let me know if this micro step was done. Write in the comments so you can motivate yourself and even other people. And that said, I'll see you tomorrow.